Coach, obviously got to see, some big plays there from Blake and some of the receivers, and Chris had that one later to Mario, I guess. What'd you think of the offense and their ability to really convert on some of those big passes today?
Good to see. That's going to be a huge part of who we are, creating explosive plays. I think that's obvious. But, again, we got to continue to get a lot better, and we got to continue to get better in a lot of different areas. But was proud of our guys for being able to make some competitive plays, and then there was a couple others I thought we could have made that we got to make.
On both sides of the ball, I guess this goes for now that spring's over with. What stood out to you the most, and what needs the most work, in your opinion, between now and camp?
Yeah, I think what stood out the most is our guys' eagerness to go to work every day. Their attitude and their effort coming in the building. We've had great energy every single day. That's been a huge stress of ours, is just making sure that, man, it's just not another Tuesday morning. It's just not another Wednesday meeting. It's just not another Thursday walkthrough. Being incredibly present in every single moment, being incredibly intentional and finding ways to get better. So that's what I'm most proud about. There's a lot of different areas to work on. We've got to continue to create depth here the next couple weeks with everything that's going on, and we'll do that. But, again, proud of where we're at, but totally different side on where we're going.
Everywhere you've been, you had to come in and kind of implement your offense with some changes of what the guys were used to having before you got here. Where do you feel like this team is offensively after the spring, based on where you started?
Yeah, again, I do. I like where we're at. I think it's going to be completely different come fall, just from the standpoint of understanding. I love that we got to live a bunch of game situations, whether it was today or in the earlier 3 scrimmages that we've had in the spring, and our guys understand what this thing needs to look like. We're nowhere close to where we're going to be, but again, we've got guys that have played a lot of ball, maybe not here, but all over the country, that are going to play a lot of ball for us next year, and I like that about our unit on offense.
John? Hey, Jeff, you obviously, talking about how you guys aren't close to where you want to be, but Blake out there, first real look for all of us at him, unbelievably comfortable, 18 of 22, I think it was, and 300 yards. As a first-year head coach, how nice is it to kind of see your quarterback fitting in so well so early on, and what do you think he showed you today?
Yeah, it's a huge deal for us, and obviously as we move forward, quarterback play is going to give us an opportunity to be in a bunch of football games and go win a bunch of games, and that's how I'll always view it. So proud of Blake's demeanor, his toughness, his edge, how he's worked, and love the fact that he took care of the football today. He's got a ton of work to do. I think he's got a chance to be not a good player, but a great player. And, he's serious about being great, and that's probably what I'm most proud of.
Who stood out to you on the offensive line? It seemed like they really held up well for most of the game and protected Blake or whoever else was in the game.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of guys that have done a really nice job. Those first 5 guys that went with Blake today, again, man, there's so much work to be done. But when you look at those 5, they've played a lot of football. So whether it's Mac Pounders or Albert Reese, Ethan Miner, and those guys have played a bunch. Marlon has done a good job this spring, and then Leon's done a nice job at right tackle. So those first 5 guys, they've gotten better every single day, and then we've got guys behind them that got to continue to get better just like they do. So again, I like where that unit's at. We got a ton of work to do, but they're going to be willing to do it.
Jeff, you mentioned the eagerness that the guys brought, each day. How important is that when a new staff is bringing in, new technique, new system, new everything, and how much of a foundation do you feel like this past month was set for what you guys are going to want to do come summer and the fall?
Yeah, I think we've got a good foundation set from the standpoint of guys understand, what it's going to take to be great inside our systems, and have coached that every single day, every single minute, and our guys understand that. And again, their energy and their attitude and their toughness and their willingness to get better and to take coaching is what's going to give us a chance to grow over the next 3 months before we kick it off live.
Brian?
Just watching from the press box, it felt like the offense was poised. It felt like you guys were in sync for the most part. Is that the same takeaway that you had without watching any film, that you felt like your guys knew what they were trying to do out there?
Yeah, I feel like, again, we talk nonstop about non-playing penalties. We're going to play with a ton of tempo. We're going to change the tempo at times. So being able to play really clean football is a huge deal. And I love the fact that with the ones we had no non-playing penalties today. That's got to continue to trend that way for us to do what we want to do. But that's something that was a huge point of emphasis. And we played pretty dang clean football with that one group, except for Kev's fumble down there on the one early.
A lot of these players in the last couple of years have been through a lot of ups and downs, the loss of a coach and then coaching changes and things like that. But a couple of them have talked about how much fun they've had during spring and kind of the camaraderie and all that with the team. And how big has that been for you in the first few months, kind of building that trust with them and kind of seeing them come together as a group of players?
Yeah, that's been fun. And, our very first team meeting, the first thing we talked about was the biggest goal for us getting through spring ball was to become a better team. Not an offense, not a defense, not a special teams unit, but, man, coming out of 15 practices being a better team and being a closer team. And I think without a doubt we've gotten that done. So I'm proud of that. And, again, our guys, man, they've been intentional in how they've come into the building every single day. So we've got to continue to build on that, but I like the foundation that's been laid.
Related to all this, watching the format of the game today, did you notice just an attitude on both sides of the ball that the guys really wanted to go play football today?
Yeah, they did want to go play football, and that's another thing that has stood out, and I think it goes in line with, kind of what I've been talking about with their energy coming into the building. We got guys that are serious about being really good, and I think that shows when they play with energy and they've got passion, and it shows up when they step on the field.
Coach, I might have missed him, but I didn't get to see Stone Blanton today. Was he out there? And if he was, what were your thoughts of him?
Yeah, Stone played a little bit today. He was limited. I like where Stone's at. He wasn't able to practice all 15 practices, so he was in and out at times. But he's done a nice job taking to the system. And this is a guy that's played a ton of football, so he's got great experience. He's got great experience inside this league, and I like where he's at. Again, our initial pieces, the original foundation of where we're at, starting just a few months ago, is really good. We got a ton of work to do, and we got get a lot better. But again, our guys are willing to do that.
You mentioned kind of the evaluation process, and over the last couple of weeks, we've kind of learned what type of players you want in here mentally, kind of their makeup and their goals and such. But when it comes to position groups wise with the portal, do you have any kind of positions you're targeting in the portal to add depth to and for additions on that end?
Yeah, we're looking at a couple of different things. We're looking at a running back situation. We've got the ability to maybe take one more offensive lineman, maybe take another edge player on defense and a corner. So that's kind of where it's at. We're looking to fill some needs and do a great job of creating a ton of depth throughout these next 12 to 15 days. And I think we're going to be able to pull that off.
Got time for just a few more, Danny.
Coach, it looked like the tight end was really involved in the offense. Justin caught a couple of touchdown passes. Just talk about the tight end's role in this offense moving forward.
Yeah, they've got a huge role inside the offense. We ask those guys to do a ton. There's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress put on them from a mental standpoint and then from a physicality standpoint. So we want guys to be able to play in the core, to be able to play on the perimeter, and to do a lot of different things. So they're going to be a huge part of who we are.
The receivers we talked to, throughout the spring, they talked about Blake when he came in, kind of doing one-on-one stuff with them, kind of on their personal time, I guess. Did you kind of see that leadership ability in him from when you guys, went and got him in the portal? And how big is it, even as a transfer, to have a guy come in immediately and kind of establish himself in that room?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that part was huge. But then the other side of it is we've got guys that have taken to that. Kevin Coleman's had not a good spring, but a great spring. A guy that's incredibly trusted inside our building. Kelly, same way. J-Mo's done a really good job creating depth and playing really fast, and a guy that hasn't played a lot of ball, but, man, had 15 good workouts, and they've taken to that. Seydu's the same thing. So, again, there's a lot more pieces outside just those guys, but they've wanted to be led, and they've wanted to buy into that, and so it's a credit to them as well.
You talk about the evaluation period coming up, the exit interviews, the recruiting. After that, you've got road dog tour, things like that. What's the message now that fans have seen a spring game, seen what you're doing, that you're taking out to the fan base to start building enthusiasm for the 2024 season?
Yeah, I think for us, man, it's still about climbing this thing one day at a time and finding ways to get better and everybody involved understanding that we're going to be better together, and we need everybody. And the world that we live in today, as we go out and we talk to different groups all over the southern part of the United States, I want people to understand we need them, you know, and we need their support every single day to be able to get done what we're all trying to get done.
All right, we'll wrap up with that.